Hello and welcome to The Inspired Lens, the podcast where we explore the power of perspective and the beauty of the human spirit. I'm your host, Silas Lounge, and I'm thrilled you've chosen to spend some time with us today. Have you ever felt like you're wearing a costume that doesn't quite fit? Or perhaps you're navigating life with a map drawn by someone else, leading you down paths that feel, well, not entirely yours? If that resonates, you're not alone. So many of us, especially as we start our careers or navigate new chapters in life, find ourselves at a crossroads, questioning who we are and what we truly want. Today, we're embarking on a journey inward. We're diving deep into the themes of self-discovery and authenticity. It's about stripping away the expectations, the shoulds, and the masks we sometimes wear, to uncover the brilliant, unique individual that lies beneath. We'll explore how to identify our true strengths, gently acknowledge our weaknesses, face our fears, and dismantle those pesky, limiting beliefs that can hold us captive. This episode is about finding your voice, even when the world tries to mute it, and learning to live authentically, celebrating every unique facet of who you are. So, grab a cup of tea, find a comfortable spot, and let's open our minds and hearts together. This isn't just a listen, it's an invitation to reflect. When we talk about self-discovery, it often feels like this grand, elusive quest. But at its heart, it's simply the process of getting to know yourself on a deeper level. Think of it like unpacking a suitcase you've been carrying around for years. Some items you packed yourself, others were given to you, and some, well, you're not quite sure how they got there. Our identity is complex, woven from our experiences, relationships, values, and beliefs. It's not static, it evolves. The first step in this journey is often honest self-assessment. Let's start with strengths. These are your innate talents, the things that come naturally to you, that energize you. Maybe you're a fantastic listener, a creative problem solver, incredibly resilient, or you have a knack for making people laugh. I invite you to pause for a moment, or perhaps jot this down later. What activities make you lose track of time? When do you feel most capable and alive? What do others consistently praise you for? Those are often signposts to your inherent strengths. Now let's talk about weaknesses. The word itself can feel heavy, can't it? But I prefer to see weaknesses not as failings, but as areas for potential growth, or simply aspects of ourselves that aren't our dominant skills. And that's okay. We can't be masters of everything. Authenticity includes accepting our imperfections. Perhaps you struggle with public speaking or procrastination, or maybe setting boundaries is tough for you. Acknowledging these doesn't make you less, it makes you human. Consider this. What tasks do you consistently avoid or find draining? Where do you feel you often fall short of your own expectations, and more importantly, why might that be? Understanding this isn't about self-criticism, but about self-awareness and finding strategies for support or improvement if you choose. I remember a young professional I once mentored, let's call her Maya. Maya was brilliant at data analysis, but terrified of presenting her findings. She saw this as a huge weakness. Instead of letting it cripple her, we reframed it. Her strength was the analysis. The presentation was an area for development. She started small, presenting to just me, then to a small, trusted group of colleagues. It wasn't about becoming the world's best orator overnight, but about finding a way to let her true strength, her analytical insight, shine through, even if her delivery was initially a little shaky. She learned that her weakness didn't negate her strength. It was just another part of her journey. Recognizing both our light and our shadow is fundamental to authentic living. It's about seeing the whole picture, not just the curated highlights. All right, we've started unpacking. We've looked at strengths in those areas for growth. Now, let's venture a little deeper into the suitcase, into territory that can sometimes feel a bit more challenging. Our fears and limiting beliefs. Fears are natural. They're designed to protect us. But sometimes, fear oversteps its role. The fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough, fear of the unknown, these can become invisible fences, penning us into comfort zones that eventually start to feel restrictive. Take a moment to reflect. What are you truly afraid of when it comes to pursuing your goals or expressing your true self? What's the worst-case scenario you imagine, and how likely is it really? Often, simply naming a fear aloud or writing it down can diminish its power. And closely tied to our fears are our limiting beliefs. These are the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we're capable of. Stories that are often outdated or were never true to begin with. I'm not creative. I'm too old to start something new. I'll never be as successful as them. I don't deserve happiness. Sound familiar? These beliefs often take root in childhood or stem from past negative experiences. They act like filters, coloring our perception of reality and dictating our actions, or rather, our inactions. I met a young entrepreneur. Let's call him Ben. Ben had a fantastic business idea, but was paralyzed by the limiting belief that he wasn't a real leader. This belief came from a past experience where a team project in college hadn't gone well. For years, that single event defined his leadership potential in his own mind. Through coaching and a lot of self-reflection, Ben began to challenge that belief. He started listing small instances where he had shown leadership, even in his personal life. He sought feedback from people who knew him well. Slowly, he chipped away at that old story, replacing it with a new one. I am capable of learning and growing as a leader. It wasn't an overnight transformation, but it was a profound shift in his internal narrative. Ask yourself, what are some "I can't" or "I'm not" statements that frequently pop into your mind? Where might these beliefs have originated? And most importantly, what evidence exists that might challenge or disprove them? Challenging these beliefs is like updating the software of your mind. It requires conscious effort, questioning, and a willingness to embrace a more empowering narrative. This is where true self-discovery ignites transformation. So, we've delved into our inner landscape. We've explored strengths, weaknesses, fears, and those tricky, limiting beliefs. Now, how do we take this newfound self-awareness and translate it into living more authentically, especially when societal pressures are constantly knocking at our door? This is about finding your voice and daring to embrace your unique qualities. Finding your voice isn't just about speaking up. It's about aligning your actions, words, and choices with your true self. It's about expressing your unique perspective, your values, your passions, even when it feels different from the norm. Societal pressures are very real. We're bombarded with messages about who we should be, what we should achieve, how we should look or act. It could be family expectations, cultural norms, workplace pressures, or the curated perfection we often see on social media. These external voices can easily drown out our own inner wisdom. Think about this. In what areas of your life do you feel you're conforming rather than choosing authentically? Whose approval are you consciously or unconsciously seeking? What small step could you take this week to honor your own preference or opinion, even if it goes against the grain? Living authentically means making conscious choices based on your internal compass, not external validation. It's about understanding that your unique blend of quirks, talents, and experiences is not a flaw, but your superpower. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs more originals. It needs you. Consider the story of a local artist I know. For years, she painted what she thought would sell, what was trendy. She achieved moderate success, but felt hollow. One day, she decided to paint purely from her heart, creating abstract pieces that reflected her deepest emotions, pieces that were vibrant, chaotic, and deeply personal. She was terrified no one would understand or appreciate them. But something amazing happened. Her new art resonated with people on a much deeper level. She found her tribe, her audience, and more importantly, she found immense joy and fulfillment in her work. She chose her authentic voice over the voice of the market. Embracing your unique qualities might mean setting boundaries, saying no to things that don't align with your values or drain your energy, pursuing unconventional paths, choosing a career or hobby because it lights you up, not because it's prestigious or expected, expressing your style confidently, wearing what makes you feel good, not what trends dictate, sharing your ideas openly. Even if they are different, your perspective is valuable. Authenticity isn't about being rebellious for the sake of it, it's about being true. And it's a practice, a daily commitment to showing up as yourself. As we draw this episode to a close, I hope you're feeling a little more connected to that incredible person you are and inspired to continue your own journey of self-discovery and authenticity. Let's recap some of the key takeaways. 1. Self-discovery is an ongoing process of unpacking who you are, your identity, strengths, and areas for growth. 2. Acknowledge your fears and challenge limiting beliefs. They are often the biggest barriers to living authentically. 3. Finding your voice means aligning your life with your inner truth, even amidst societal pressures. 4. Embrace your unique qualities. They are what make you, and they are your greatest assets. This journey isn't always easy. There will be moments of doubt, discomfort, and perhaps even resistance from others. But the reward, a life lived with genuine purpose, joy, and freedom, is immeasurable. Your actionable insight for this week? Choose one reflective question from today's episode that particularly resonated with you. Spend just 10-15 minutes journaling your thoughts on it. No judgment, just honest exploration. You might be surprised by what surfaces. Thank you for joining me on The Inspired Lens. If this episode sparked something within you, please consider sharing it with someone who might benefit. We'd love to hear about your own journeys of self-discovery. What's one step you're taking towards living more authentically? Share your thoughts in the comments section below if you're watching on YouTube, or connect with us on our social media channels, all linked in the show notes. And if you haven't already, please like this episode, subscribe to the Inspired Lens channel for more inspiring content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration together. Until next time, be kind to yourself, keep exploring, and dare to let your true light shine. I'm Silas Lounge, and this has been The Inspired Lens.